What's up, guys? We're here at Kodawari Studios, continuing the community outreach for Men's Health Unscripted. As we told you guys in some of our previous videos, this is a community outreach program. I mean, we're out here to be in our community. If we did this in an office somewhere,
it would make sense.
It wouldn't, and then people wouldn't see us, and they're like, hey, why are you guys talking about crazy prostates and penises on the microphone? Like, why are you guys doing that?
I mean, we're going to do it anyway, but now that we're out in the community getting involved, we got 2 interviews lined up here that we just finished with Annette from Kodawari Studios and
Nikki Namaste. The Yogi
Guys,
Warrior.
These were great interviews on mental health, PTSD, clarity, and yoga and the power it has to transform someone's just overall health. So we really hope you guys find value out of those videos. And we got another topic lined up for you.
We got a good one. We're getting into... We're just shooting right out of the gate. I mean, second episode.
Right out of the gate.
So, Steven, I mean, this is all you, big man. Take it away.
It's going to be a fun one, but this is definitely the sensitive topic of sensitive topics for men.
Yeah.
That if there was ever something they don't want to go to the doctor for or even talk to someone about, erectile dysfunction.
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
This is no joke in a man's life because it's not just the man's life. It's spouse, partner, family, psychology.
All of it.
Everything's being affected by this. So the prevalence of this being an issue with men and men's health as a whole is studies have it as 322 million men or so will be affected by ED, erectile dysfunction, by 2025, the year 2025. And that right there, whether that's a small percent of the population or just the number itself, that should scare you.
You're scaring me.
Terrified,
right now.
and I know I'm living a prostate life.
Yeah, same here.
And it gets worse. It gets worse, but it can also get better if you take charge of it. It was up to 10% of men before 40 years old will experience ED. And 50 to 100% of men, that's a 100% statistic, after 70 years old.
Well, shout out to the dudes that are like 70 and still getting after it.
Outside of that percentile.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, that's like role model stats right there. I mean, we're on, if I'm older than 70 and I'm still getting after it.
They're prepared.
I'm pumped, dude. I'm fired up.
But guys, that did not happen just because they turned 70 and just became lucky. They lived their lives in a healthy way to get to that point. So every action that we're going to take up until those ages, they're going to have consequences. So we want everyone to enjoy their life and what they're doing, have a healthy, fun, well-balanced life. But when diseases show up out of nowhere, they didn't show up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't want to be even more scary than you already were, but a lot of those statistics go underreported, and guys are really not talking about it. It is sensitive. It is the most sensitive topic of sensitive topics. I mean, we're out of the gate. We're addressing the issues that are in men's health. That's why we're proud of this. And so we want to let you guys know these statistics are alarmingly underreported.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it. I mean, you mentioned this 7-year-old. I never thought a 70-year-old man with an erection would be a role model of mine.
It is now.
But with those statistics, how could they not be, I guess?
Yeah.
You make a valid point. So those guys still getting after it.
I have strange role models, man. If you don't know me by now, the people I look up to.
I've seen some of them, but hey, man. It's working out for you pretty well, but a tip of the hat to them for getting after it. So you may hear ED and erectile dysfunction, and you may just think the penis is not working well or the way it should be. And really, it's the inflammation that a man may experience. I feel so weird saying penis looking at you, but that's what Men's Health is for.
Just look me in the eye and say penis, Steven. Do it one more time.
The inflammation that a man will experience in the penis will cause damage to the blood vessels and not allow nitric oxide production, which is going to expand the blood vessels in the penis, allowing blood flow and resulting in an erection. So the damage and the inflammation that they experience stops that process. So that's the short, simple version of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, not everybody speaks nerd, Stephen. So that's all well and good, but what does that really mean? I mean, how can we break that down to the people that aren't sitting in a pharmacy lecture?
So, my fiance says I need to work on that.
Yeah.
She says I have horrible patient talking skills.
I wouldn't say that it's horrible. Your bedside manners may be mediocre, but it's getting better.
Your podcast skills are in the middle somewhere.
Your podcast skills are way up. So let's think about some of the things that could potentially cause erection. So there's damage to cells. Our bodies are made up of cells. They're everywhere. And so the inflammation that's going on is damaging to the cells. And so it doesn't allow that blood flow to get into the penis. And so some things that could really hamper this are some what we call comorbidities like diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity. Again, here we are talking about it.
All of these.
High cholesterol, and probably one of the most important ones, we've been on the mental health kick today, depression.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, the ones you mentioned, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, those, like we said in our previous videos, they're going to find their way into every metabolic disease state. Depression, and I'm really happy that you brought that up because I think you and Nick had a great interview about that and just kind of overcoming those barriers. But there was a study done, a study of 48 other studies. So this is high-level data that took randomized control trials, took other high-level forms of research and did its own research on those studies and found that about 40% of men with depression will experience erectile dysfunction.
Wow.
And inversely,
it's got to cause depression.
If you have erectile dysfunction, they noted a 300% increase in their subjects having erectile dysfunction.
300%?
Or having depression. Yep. But when we hear these kind of studies, you have to understand the nuances involved with them because the way the study was done did not identify cause and effect relationships. But then again, when you look at what they're dealing with, so it's more of a cross-sectional thing that 300% more had erectile dysfunction when having depression.
If I'm lucky, I'm still young, still virile as far as I know. But if that happened to me, there's a 300% chance that I would probably be depressed.
I think you would handle it pretty well. You'd find a way.
I mean, I'd just go do some yoga maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, from what we got from these past interviews, that yoga is really a really overlooked way to deal with these kind of things. Because personally, I don't do yoga. Patrick has done yoga for as long as I've known him.
Been doing it for a couple of years now. Yeah.
And I know it's done you a world of wonders. And it's just, it doesn't do it for me. I'm slowly working my way to get there. I do meditation.
I just got to get you to a class.
I'm stubborn as hell, man. I'd be surprised if you drag me anywhere. But these are the comorbidities we're talking about and what a man may overlook when experiencing ED and the symptoms, the signs and symptoms that come along with ED and even before ED. So if you guys want to be informed about those, check out the video we have here to get up to date with the signs and symptoms you could be on the look for. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for checking in.
Men's Health Unscripted.